Hello everybody, Sam here, engineer, MBA, and investor. And in today's video, we are talking about Caribou Biosciences. Someone today commented on the last YouTube video, when are you making a video on Caribou? And I was literally going to make one today, and here it is. So whoever commented that, I actually forgot the person. Here's your video. Couple of things here, couple of notes here, housekeeping. So again, we're back in a regular schedule as I'm back in the office here in Toronto. I will be actually trying to make more than just 1 or 2 videos a week, maybe 3 videos as CRISPR news is starting to ramp up. Maybe 3. I don't think I'm gonna go above 3 videos a week. 1, because it's a lot of energy. 2, because I don't, although there's lots of things happening in this space, some things are not really worth talking about in a full video format. And you don't want to really repeat yourself because, there's so much you can talk about, I think. Because again, CRISPR is a tool in the toolkit, right? It is CRISPR, the technology, it is a tool. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of things to talk about in the CRISPR world. But to start making daily videos like I used to make the first 2 years of this channel, I don't think we're going back to daily videos, but maybe, for sure, 2 videos a week, maybe 3. We'll see where we go with that. And the last housekeeping note, next week I am going on a YouTube channel called Amit Investing. This person is a YouTuber that talks a lot about stocks, companies, tech companies, software companies. I've actually followed him quite a while, not just on YouTube, but also on X.com. And he's really good. He's really good at what he does. And he does a good job giving platform to certain people to talk about their companies, whether that's Palantir or whatever companies that he covers on a continuous basis. So I'm going on their YouTube channel, and that's about, I think I checked that, he had like 25,000 subscribers. So I think that's going to be some good CRISPR visibility. Again, wait for that video on the weekend. It's probably going to come out either late Saturday or, of course, Sunday. Hopefully Sunday at least. I don't think it should take more than a day to edit that type of interview. But that's going to come on his channel. I'm going to ask him if I can put it in my own channel. I don't know if that's going to be possible. I'm going to ask him. Anyways, let's jump in today's video here. Caribou appoints Tim Kelly as CTO, Chief Technology Officer, and highlights multiple clinical catalysts expected in 2024. Tim Kelly to lead Caribou's technical operations strategy and execution. CBO10 Phase 1 trial dose expansion data, and RP2D to be disclosed in Q2 2024. Caribou plans to initiate pivotal Phase 3 trial in 2L LBCL by year-end 2024. So notice that their CAR-T is just a different space, right? They can afford to go basically to Phase 3 by the end of this year, while NTLA was going Phase 3 for until 2002 at some point in 2026. Just a comparison from yesterday's video, right? CBO11, the Phase 1 trial, that's their other program that they're working on. They're enrolling patients at dose level 3 now. Initiate dose escalation data is expected by year-end 2024. So we'll be getting some more data here with the dose escalation, which is very important. CBO12, which is of course their third program there. Phase 1 trial, first sites active, trial initiation in AML expected first half of 2024. There's so many acronyms here. There's an acronym called DBA, which is basically death by acronyms. It's crazy. Caribou to present at the 42nd annual JP Morgan Healthcare Conference on January 11th, Thursday, so this week. They'll be presenting. I'm expecting maybe some data for CBO10. We'll see. I mean, it's too early to speculate, but hopefully, I think that'll be a great platform. I think they did that last year, if I remember. Maybe it wasn't them. Yeah, I think it was them. I think they released some data last year in that same conference for CBO10 for the first time, I believe. Was it? Okay, so let's learn about Mr. Kelly. Mr. Kelly brings over 25 years of global clinical commercial product development, manufacturing, and supply chain operations with large and small biopharmaceutical and cell and gene therapies companies in the US and Europe. In addition, Caribou highlighted successful execution across its allogeneic CAR T cell therapy platform over the past year, providing an outlook on multiple clinical catalysts planned for 2024. All right, so this is their new CTO, and I wouldn't make too much out of it. I think it just makes sense to hire a technology officer that can sort of deal with those types of things. I mean, that's a good amount of experience. I mean, you don't hire people just to hire people. Obviously, you see things coming up. I mean, obviously, CRISPR being approved by the FDA on December 8th obviously had something to do with this decision, right? You're not just going to approve. These hiring, first of all, takes a lot of resources to hire the right person, and then to retain them takes a lot, even more resources. So to say that you're just hiring someone just to hire someone, obviously there's a move here, there's an expectation here. These companies are in discussion with the FDA on a weekly, monthly basis at this point. This was mentioned by Dr. Sam himself in one of his previous interviews a few years ago. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're getting good vibes with how CRISPR is unfolding in the US and around the world, and with different regulatory bodies. Okay, so that's enough for Mr. Kelly. I don't think we need to go too deep in their history. I mean, I'm seeing a couple of companies. I don't know most of them. Interesting. He was a fighter pilot in the US Air Force. That's pretty good. Anyways, okay, so CBO10 reported encouraging data from dose escalation prior portion of the Antler phase 1 trial evaluating CBO10 in 16 patient relapsed or refractory B-cell non-Hodgkin lymphoma. Dose escalation showed that CBO response rates and safety profile have the potential to rival those of the approved autologous CAR T cell therapies. This is very important, right? Because that's what the FDA is going to look at when it comes time to approve this, if this obviously ever gets to that finish line, which we predict in this channel it will. In the ongoing Antler phase 1 trial, Caribou is enrolling a second-line relapsed or refractory large B-cell lymphoma patients in dose expansions portion. Currently, 22 US, 3 international sites are active, with the additional site activation underway. Caribou provided a regulatory update based on the feedback of the FDA following Type B clinical meeting. The company received the FDA's feedback on phase 3 random pivotal trial for CBO10 in the second line of LBCL, stating that Caribou proposed comparator arm of platinum-based immunochemotherapy followed by high-dose chemotherapy and autologous stem cell transplantation is acceptable. So getting good feedback from the FDA. To Caribou's knowledge, CBO10 is the first anti-CD19 allogeneic CAR T cell therapy to be evaluated in the second line of LBCL setting, and it has been granted RMAT, Fast Track, and Organ Drug Designation by the FDA for specific indications. So this is obviously good news. I mean, we knew this in the past, but this is pretty good. Okay. So CBO11, right? CBO11 is, it was granted Fast Track by the FDA, and it concluded its first dose level of 50 to the 10-6 times 10-6 to the 6, and dose level 2, which is basically triple from dose level 1, and you got 3 samples in each of those levels. And they want to go to patients with level 3, which is 3 times the second dose level, which is naturally, how many times is, 3 times the second dose level, and this is 8 times the first dose level. Right? Is it 8 or 9? Sorry, that's 9 times the first dose level, which is pretty big. That's pretty big, guys. You go from dose level 1, which you did 50, and now you're going to 450. That's pretty big. Obviously, they liked what they saw. Maybe they thought dose level 1 was too obviously conservative. They can do a lot better. They got a lot better data maybe with dose level 2, and now they want to push it to maybe a dose level 3. And my suspicion is probably going to go back to level 2 or just hover around these two. We'll see. We'll see. Again, we need to see the data for dose level 3. We can't be making these statements without reviewing data, right? So, all right. So CBO 12 was cleared by the FDA reevaluation. That's pretty good. I'm really happy to see that. And yeah, I mean, these are your highlights. And the last thing, as I did with NTLA last video, the cash in the balance sheet. They have almost $400 million in the cash balance sheet, which is expected to fund the company till end of 2025, Q4 of 2025. I think that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Pfizer, they received Pfizer investment with CBO 11. That's actually pretty good. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know Pfizer invested in CBO 11. I think I missed that news. And if I did make a video on it, I probably forgot. There's so many things. Like, it's crazy how you need to, it's like so many webs, like from companies to company. It's hard to keep track of everything. But this is pretty good. This is pretty good. $400 million in cash. I would like to see that number go a little bit higher. 25 million Pfizer investment. That, I mean, it's good money, but man, I wish you could get more than 25 from Pfizer. I mean, out of all these companies, Pfizer. I mean, that's yeah, that was over the summer. Yeah, I think I made a video on it and I forgot. Honestly, I completely forgot. And anyways. It's good to read these, right? Because you get to remind yourself and you get to see my first thoughts here, live reaction rather. Okay, so 2024 anticipated milestone. So for CBO 10, which is obviously their leading program right now, they want to go with phase 2 dose in Q2 of 2024. So by the summer of 2024, they should have data from the phase 2 dose, and they want to initiate the phase 3 dose by year end of 2024. So we won't be getting any data for phase 3 until 2025. And of course, this is assuming everything goes well. Who knows? You know, they may stop the whole program, reshift it. Who knows? But for now, it looks like 2025 is for phase 3 data and phase 2 data, which is probably what we want to focus on. It's by at some point in the summer, which is pretty good timeline. Caribou plans to initiate dose escalation data by year end 2024. That's for CBO 11 and CBO 12. I mean, we're initiating patient enrollment. So I just want to say one more thing. In CBO 10, yeah, so yeah, guys, give me a second. I want to see something really, really quickly here. For CBO 10, I want to see the last data that they got. All right, man, this is gonna be a long video. It's already like 14-minute videos. Sorry, 14 minutes. Yeah, so this is the data they got for the single dose escalation, single dose for CBO 10. Yeah, that's all the data that they got here. I think it was, I like the other table. There was a table that described it really well with complete response rate and so on. Where is it? We should be able to get it. Give me a second, guys. Yeah, here. So this is a great yeah. So after 6 months, they were well above the competitors, or if you want to call them competitors, because they're really doing different things here. No one's doing what Caribou's doing with CRISPR, and specifically, obviously, with CAR T cells with CRISPR. No one's doing that, right? So, so that's pretty good. I guess we could just use that data here that we saw, or we could maybe go. Oh, here. Oh, yeah. Man, I'm blind. So 94 had an had some sort of response, right? 94 of them had some sort of response. Um, and 69% achieve a complete response rate, right? That's pretty good. And 44% had a complete, which is the value you're really looking at after 6 months. And again, it's one dose. That people need to understand. This is one dose. Even if you did two doses, like let's do that. The worst case. Let's just pretend the worst case, right? Let's say you do two doses a year, right? Maybe I wouldn't say it's the worst case, but let's just pretend it is two doses a year. That's still good. I mean, you got literally these patients will all have some sort of lymphoma, cancers. I mean, this is pretty big. This is life threatening. And what? You go to the hospital like every 2 years, you get that, not hospital, but the treatment center or wherever they're performing these therapies in the future, wherever they'll be performing it. And you get once, twice every year, you take that. I mean, you even, let's just pretend it was 4 times a year, every quarter. Or, right, screw that. Let's do every month. People would still take that. This is why people don't understand. Like, this is amazing what they're doing. The complete response rate, even the partial response, even, I mean, it's still better than nothing, and it's still better than the alternative. And obviously, that's not what they're trying to prove. They're not trying to prove that you need every month dosage to be effective. They're trying to do a one dose treatment, which so far I think they've been able to do well above the average. But even 44%, some naysayers have been saying that they could do better than 44% and maybe, hit 60%, maybe 70%. Okay, then just dose again, right? Introduce a new dose after 6 months and keep that value towards 94%. Like, think about the potential there. I mean, that's just me saying that, but I think a lot of people, this was the table I was talking about. Anyways, I think a lot of people underestimate that aspect. I think a lot of people discuss that. They don't discuss that enough, how this is a one dose treatment. This is amazing, right? This is just amazing. And that's with N-Sepal 16, which is not that huge of a dose number of patients, but it's still something, right? And yes, this is what I was going to look at. So phase 2 has double dosage, which is something else we didn't talk about. What if you increase dosage level, right? And we're going to be getting data from that double number of CAR T cells dosed. That's going to be interesting, guys. That is going to be what a lot of people are looking at. Because if the data is similar, then we just know that you can probably stick around 40 to 80, maybe use 60. I mean, they're obviously not going to do it that way, but you could just use the value 60 times 10 to the 6 CAR T cells, right? But what if the data is much better than the dose level 1? Then you have something here, because you can actually keep with one dose. I mean, the key here for this company, the mission statement here with this program anyways, is to do one dose. You dose it, that's gone. You monitor the patient, everything's good, they are potentially cured. That is the mission statement. That is the goal. But before we get to that goal, they have to obviously look at what is the right level of dosage. And I think this data that we're going to be getting next summer is going to reveal a lot of things. Because if you get a lot better data here, then I'm not even worried about phase 3 at that point. I'm going full bullish. And my prediction for this program, CBO10, because this is really the program for this company, just like how XSL, specifically now called Casgevy, was for and is for CRISPR Therapeutics and Vertex, I predict if you get data and you get positive data this summer in 2024 for phase 2, I predict that Caribou will submit FDA submissions sometime in 2025 and be potentially approved by the FDA by end of 2025, at worst early 2026, which actually correlates more or less with NTLA's timeline. I think NTLA was being more bearish, I think, with the timeline, in my opinion. But hey, that's just my opinion there from yesterday's video. But I like what I'm seeing, guys. I like Caribou. I like this company. Full disclosure, I am an investor in this company. So I've always said there's a couple of companies in this space that you just cannot miss when it comes to technology, when it comes to their mission statement, when it comes to what they're trying to achieve. And Caribou is one of them, right? Caribou is definitely one of them. They've done everything right with CBO 10, 010. The only thing that I think a lot of people in this space are have against Caribou, if there is a negative criticism or something to be said about Caribou, is that they are the oldest CRISPR company. Yet they went public in 2021 in summer, if you guys remember. And I remember making videos on it when no one was making video on it. So anyways, going back to my point here is that they are the oldest CRISPR company, yet they're I mean, I think they're doing fine, but some people say they're a little bit behind here, especially with Vertex and CRISPR Therapeutics, specifically CRISPR Therapeutics being approved here by just last month there. You would expect Caribou to have something approved by now, right? But obviously that's not the case. They were doing other things in their early years. I don't want to get into that for today's video, but that's really good data. I think if we can get some good data next summer, I predict this company with don't forget guys, CAR-T is a big deal. CAR-T cells are a big deal because CAR-T cells are the way to potentially curing cancers, or at least various levels of cancers, at least some of them, right? Not all of them. I'm not saying that they'll be able to treat everything. That's a little bit naive to think that way. But for the longest time, people did not believe in CAR-T cells. In fact, that's what a lot of supporters of Sana Biotechnology Company are saying. But with the data we got last summer, and in my opinion, the data we're going to get in next summer, I think that's going to shut down a lot of naysayers. But I think CRISPR is here to stay. CRISPR is here to stay. And that's what I'm hoping to talk about next week on Amit Investing YouTube channel. I'm expecting some good questions, and hopefully I can enlighten some of his audience there about CRISPR, get us out there. Doing my part, guys. I'm doing my part, and it's been a fun ride. It's been a fun ride, and it's always nice to talk about these things. And we'll go with that. We'll go with what we have here. So hopefully you guys appreciate this video. As always, subscribe if you're not. Like this video if you found value. And let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think about Caribou? What do you guys think about phase 2 data they're gonna release by sometime this summer in 2024? Let me know, guys. Curious to see your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.